says that have there no lessons been learnt after the Pune Porsche crash case? Because just weeks after the Pune Porsche crash numbed the entire nation, there's another chilling case of hit and run, and this time it's coming in from Mumbai. The focus once again is on the behavior of reckless drivers, and the need of the hour is for stronger laws and action against those who risk the lives of citizens on the streets. In Mumbai, a couple from the Fisher community were on their way back home in Worli when this BMW rammed into them. The incident took place at 5:30 this morning when the couple on the bike was, when they were passing by. That's the CCTV footage you can see. This happened next to the Atria Mall in Mumbai. The driver went absconding from the site, and the injured couple was immediately admitted to a government hospital where the woman on the scooty succumbed to her injuries. Her husband is still receiving treatment. There's also an investigation that's underway. But let's take you back to the scene and show you this report from the moment after the accident took place and what was the state of the scooty. Just by looking at the pictures, you can get a sense of how gruesome the accident was.
Hit and run case has been reported in Worli area of Mumbai, and we are right present outside Atria Mall, and this is the two-wheeler which met with an accident early morning at around 5:30 a.m. and you can clearly see how disturbing the visuals are of the two-wheeler which met with an accident early in the morning at around 5:30 a.m. and the car driver is still absconding, and the Worli police is investigating further into the matter. In fact, a couple from fisherman community was traveling back from Sassoon-Dock with the fish in their hand. You can clearly see the fish also on this damaged two-wheeler which was hit by the four-wheeler, and both the couple met with an accident. They were taken to the nearby government hospital, and while treatment, the wife of the fisherman succumbed to the injury. At the same time, the fisherman is being treated at the hospital. You know, a hit and run case has been witnessed and reported from Worli area of Mumbai. Further investigation is going on, and you can clearly see the vehicle has been taken by the police. With cameraman George, Abhishek Avasti for Times Now, Mumbai.
It's been over 12 hours since that Mumbai hit and run case. Only 2 detentions have taken place, no arrests so far. But there is a confirmation now that one of the persons who's been arrested is linked to the Shinde Sena. His son, it is believed, was behind the wheel. The driver has also been detained, but it is believed that the Shinde Sena Neta's son, who was in the car when the accident took place, has gone absconding. Now, that's the latest that's coming in. Let's listen into what the police has said.
जो गाड़ी में एक व्यक्ति था, राजश्री विड़ावत, उसको हमने तपास के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए ताबे में लिया हुआ है, और उसके साथ ही राजेश शाह, इस तरीके से 2 व्यक्ति को इस गुने के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बारे में हमने अभी तक अपने डिटेन किया हुआ है और उनसे पूछताछ जारी है। इसके बारे में इन्वेस्टिगेशन चालू है, एफआईआर दाखिल हो चुकी है, और इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जो कुछ भी निष्पन्न होगा उसके आधार पे आगे की कार्रवाई होगी। हमारे पास एक व्यक्ति हमारे ताबे में है।
And let's also get you details of those who've been arrested. On your screens are pictures of the car. I beg your pardon, detained, because no arrests have taken place so far. On your screens are pictures of the BMW right after the hit and run. Then you also have picture of the person who was in the car, and it is believed he is the son of a Shinde Sena Neta. And the woman who's lost her life, she is 45 years old, and she was a fisherwoman. Her husband is still receiving treatment. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has responded to the allegations that are now coming in from the opposition in the state of Maharashtra. He's assuring strict justice. He said, everyone is equal in the eyes of law. Let's listen in.
जो मुंबई में हिट एंड रन का जो घटना जो हुई है, बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, दुखद है, और मैंने पुलिस के साथ बात की है, मेरी बातचीत हुई है, इसमें कोई भी हो उसको एक नजरिए से देखा जाएगा, किसी को भी बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कानूनी कार्रवाई जो है वो सख्त की जाएगी नियम के अनुसार। तो जो भी हो, कानून के सामने सब बराबर है।
Abhishek is joining us on this broadcast. He's tracking the story in Mumbai, and also joining us this evening is Swapnil Kothari, senior advocate. I'd like to go across to Abhishek and then I'll come to you, Swapnil, to get in your views on what's happening in this very case. Abhishek, now there's a confirmation that the person who's been detained is a leader of the Shinde Sena, and his son, as alleged that he was in the car when the accident took place. He hasn't been detained yet. What do we know about his whereabouts?
Definitely, if we believe from the sources of police, they have clearly said that he is not reachable at this given point of time. In fact, his phone is switched off, and 4 teams have been formed to nab him. In fact, the father is being detained, and the person named Rashri, who is a driver, who was along with Mihir Shah, the son of Rajesh Shah, who is allegedly being told that he was driving at that given point of time, is absconding. So definitely, police, when the DCP Krishna Kant Upadhyay, who took a press conference, clearly, when we asked the pointed questions, he only responded that, our investigation is going on. Till now, there is no formal arrest. We have detained 2 persons, one who was in the car at that time of accident, and the other, the owner of the car, that is Rajesh Shah, who is also the deputy leader from the Shinde camp of the Shiv Sena. So the investigation is going on, and as we get the lead, we will, take the further action accordingly. In fact, there is also a team of officials who are scanning through all the CCTV footage across that area where the incident took place. In fact, from that place, the car was abandoned at Kalanagar, Bandra, from where the police got and seized the car. And what we believe from the source is that both the driver and Mihir Shah separately took an auto and absconded. Earlier, they first detained Rajesh Shah, then later they detained the driver, that is Rashri, and now hunt for Mihir Shah is on. Now whether the driver, whether Mihir Shah was driving or not, that is not answered by the Mumbai police. Whether he was under the influence of alcohol, that is not answered by Mumbai police. And lastly, whether the driver was driving the car is also a question mark. And on all the question, Mumbai police has said that investigation is going on. We are checking on all the CCTV footages at this given point of time.
Before I go across to Swapnil, can you confirm for us that Rajesh Shah, who, as per the Mumbai police and as per the confirmation that you're getting us, is a leader of the Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena. He's a leader, from Palghar, and he is detained, and the police is questioning him. Is it possible that he is the father of the boy who's now gone missing or is absconding or is, hiding from the law? He has no clue about the whereabouts of his son?
Definitely, this is the exact situation, because if I want to come back to the chronology, the accident took place, investigation started, then you get an abandoned car in Kalanagar. You get that car via the registration number, police comes to know that it is on Rajesh Shah. Then Rajesh Shah has been detained and he's been questioned. And then later the driver has been detained, and now the investigation is going on. The team has been formed to further detain Mihir Shah. And yet to ascertain who was driving, whether he was driving under the influence of alcohol, and more importantly, there are pictures of Rajesh Shah with Eknath Shinde giving him the letter as a deputy leader, and he is a deputy leader from Palghar, but he is believed to be living in Goregaon area where his resident is. So definitely there are many questions that still to be answered by Mumbai police. Meanwhile, Aditya Thackeray met the victim inquired about the updates from the police.
Okay.
And definitely he said that,
Okay.
there should not be any political pressure.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek, for getting us all those details. Swapnil, thank you so much for waiting in patiently. We were trying to get in all the details when it comes to this case. And many would say that it's the same template. There is a sort of a mindset that if I'm rich, if I'm powerful, and if my father is a politician, if I drive a supercar and if I can go about and ram people and abscond, I will get away. That is a mindset that everyone is questioning, and we saw what happened in Pune. After Pune, a case like this emerging from Mumbai. You've been tracking these cases very closely. What is your response to this kind of mindset that permeates in the rich and politically connected?
Well, Sagarika, you've seen in Pune, the whole entire system has been compromised. And that, in fact, gives impetus. One of my comments at that very time itself was that if this case is not brought to justice and brought to its logical conclusion, the Pune case, then others will have some sort of an inspiration from this and will continue to do damage across the country. And this is what has exactly happened today in the morning near Atria Mall. I'm quite familiar with that area. It's, people love to zip through that, especially early hours of the morning. And this is exactly possibly what has happened. And exact details, I don't know whether the person was drunk, but the very fact that he's absconding, that means possibly he was behind the wheels. Otherwise, why should he be absconding? And Section 106 of the BNS Act, which is very clear that if you abscond, meaning if you do not inform the police or the magistrate, then your imprisonment may extend to 10 years, as opposed to 5 years, which it is otherwise. So the point is that, now that we are getting the new act, let's see how the implementation of this act is done. We heard the police, we heard the chief minister, but that is talk. I want to see it actually happening. So I believe, Sagarika, unless and until the media continues to keep a hawk's eye on this case, this case will be one of those other cases which will get refrigerated and done and dusted with, and we will not know as to what has happened in this particular case. The victim's family is very obviously quite poor. They were on the, on the scooter, fetching a fish or something of that sort. So, you and I both know how easy it is to muzzle them up with the kind of power that the BMW has.
Swapnil, we're talking about the new criminal laws. But the need of the hour is to ensure that these laws are implemented like you just mentioned. But for viewers just joining us on this broadcast, if you could just give us a lowdown that in cases, as of now, if such cases happen, why should there be this kind of a fear of the law that you cannot get away, no matter how connected you are?
You see, the fear of the law itself lies in the fact that you know that it is not being implemented the way it needs to. So you can bring in as many number of laws, Sagarika, and India has never been deficient in laws. All it has been deficient in is in its implementation, because the system gets compromised from point to point. And this is exactly where one of the points that I had brought that earlier in your channel as well, that you need to have had an insertion in the equivalent of the Criminal Procedure Code, which is BNNS Act, where you needed to have sensitization of the police. Your Sakshya Adhinam, which is Indian Evidence Act, your Nyaya Sanhita, which is your Indian Penal Code, then your Nyaya Nagarik Suraksha is which is the equivalent of your Criminal Procedure Code. This is where you'd had to have sensitization of the police to all these incidents, including men and women, rather women's issues about rape and child prostitution and trafficking, etc. All these things you need sensitization of the police. So especially twice in a year. Now look, compare it to the corporate laws. You have one woman director necessary on a board. You need to have 4 meetings. So how much of a difference that has made? You always have one woman director on the board. There'll be hardly few companies who don't have that, Sagarika. So if you had some sort of an insertion, a mandatory aspect of sensitization of the police twice a year, it's like a moral class that you and I had in school. So somewhere, that moral class has been there, zipped in our system, where that's the reason why we behave like normal good citizens. So this is where the sensitization of the police, you can have n number of laws, but you're going to see as many accidents. There will never be a fear of the law. Because you and I know that what is going to happen. Oh, I've got a big daddy. oh, you know, I've got this connection, oh, I've got that connection. भाई ये तो चलता ही रहेगा 3 साल 4 साल 10 साल बाद में किसको याद रहने वाला है?
Can this chalta hai continue, especially after the kind of public outcry we've seen when it comes to the Pune case, and now with the Chief Minister himself coming out and saying that there will be justice and everyone is equal in the eyes of the law? That kind of assurance has come in. The man who is in detention is a politician. The son who was believed to be in the car is still absconding, and there's a search for him. What happens next in the investigation? We are keeping a very close watch. But viewers, time for us now to slip into a short commercial break. Stay with Times Now. We'll be back after this short break.